I'm Grump. And I'm the Game Grump.
Hello, welcome back to GameGrumps. It's me, it's Arin. This is solo GameGrumps. I'm going through my Wikipedia page, telling stories, making sure it's all accurate. So far, it's been pretty accurate. I gotta say, it's been pretty accurate. Not much is different. I'm just sort of expounding on stories. But anyway, Hanson has also done narration work for several episodes of Did You Know Gaming. I was going to tell a story about it, and here's my story. Shane, who runs Did You Know Gaming, I don't know why I fucking name dropped him, but Shane, he's super cool. I love him. Asked me to do a lot of Did You Know Gamings. And I was like, yes, of course. I love doing this. And so I did a bunch. And it was great. And then after we got Dan on the show and John left, there was definitely like, you know, I mean, let's face it, there was like a lot of there was a lot of there was a rift that was drawn because people liked John and he left, and there was just sort of people felt like it was unclear on why, and then people started taking sides, and I was painted more often than not as the bad guy because we were like, oh, let's make, you know, we want people to think like John's an artist, like he wanted to go on and do his own thing, and that's what happened, you know. So we were painted as like, oh, well, all they care about is business. So that was like sort of the popular opinion of after that happened, which is like whatever. You know, I wasn't going to be like, no, guys, because that just makes it worse. So I was just like, I'm just going to keep making the show. And if people want to watch, that's fine. You know, I don't want to be like, no, guys, I'm trying to do my best. People will be like, yeah, that's what somebody who is the businessman would say in this situation. You know, it's like, you can't win in that situation. So it's like, so anyway, it's a funny little time capsule, and you can go back and look at it. If you watch episodes pre-GameGrumps, or pre, like, Dan coming on the show, people are like, oh man, yeah, awesome, Aaron's on it, what a great voice, wow, so cool. And then after Dan is on the show, like right after, like 2013, Did You Know Gaming narrations, it was like, fuck Aaron, like, sell out, fuck this guy sucks, like all the comments. And then for a while, Shane didn't ask me to do Did You Know Gamings anymore, and I was kind of butthurt about it at the time, because I was like, man, what the fuck, man, like, this sucks, like, I was, like, on all kinds of episodes, and people loved it, and looking back, now, I get it, because I'm sure from his perspective, he was getting me to be on episodes, and then they were getting downvoted, and people were like, fuck you, Grump, why are you even getting him on the show, this guy sucks, fucking broke up GameGrumps. And so he was like, all right, well, maybe I just won't get Aaron on the show for a while. Which I totally, you know, it's like, I get it. I don't really, there's no energy there. But now, you know, I've been on it a couple times since, and it's been cool now because people like me again. So that's nice. The ebb and flow of YouTube politics, I will say, is if any of you people out there who are on blast for one reason or another, just it's cool. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Because if you're a good person and you just keep making content, it's fine. Like, it just, you know, it might follow you for a little bit. It might follow you for a while. But it'll go, you know, it'll pass. If you just keep being good, keep making friends, keep treating your fans with respect, and keep making good content. And that's all there is to it. I'm sure there's still people that just still don't like me. And that's fine, whatever. I know there's a lot of people from my animation days that are like, you're not an animator anymore, you suck. Even though I much prefer doing GameGrumps than making animations, because it was depressing and isolating and very difficult and hard on me, and I wasn't getting a whole lot of money, and it sucked. And even back then, I was constantly shit on. It's funny now that people are like, he was an artist back then, and it's like, yeah, well, go read the Newgrounds comments from when I was making cartoons, and you'll see I was the #1 animator on Newgrounds, and that puts a pretty big target on your back. So it wasn't fun then. Let's just say that. So Yeah, anyway, that's the Did You Know Gaming story. And I love Shane, and that show is awesome. And I'm really happy that it has become such a big brand for him, and I hope he's doing well. Anyway, besides providing additional work for online series on YouTube and Newgrounds, Hansen has been featured in several videos for the website Screw Attack. Okay, I guess that's true. Including a collaboration with James Rolfe and Keith Apicary. Yes, that was a fun video. Oh man, yeah, that was the first time I really got to hang out with James. I've hung out with Nathan, Keith Apicary, like a million times. I love that guy. He's local. Actually, just hung out with him today. What the fuck? That's crazy. But he's amazing. I think it's a fucking crime that dude is not like 10 million subscribers or whatever. I know he's had like a couple viral hits. He's the dancing guy, the jelly dancing, and he's done a couple music videos. He's done a bunch of music videos actually, but he has got that character Keith Apicary, and he's fucking incredible. I love that dude. So funny on his feet. He did a table flip episode with us, and I mean, just fucking stole the show. I mean, he's incredible. Like, he's just so good in a live scenario. Anyway, this isn't what me gushing about somebody else is not what you wanted to come here for. In 2008, Hansen agreed to work with Ross O'Donovan on the animated web series Gamer Tonight, where he provided the voice of the host, which was broadcast on the Australian television show Good Game. Isn't that funny? The name Good Game. How about that? Yes. That is yes. That is all true. I loved doing that. I felt so cool. That was on television. That was on Australian television, Ross's show, Gamer Tonight, which I think I might have helped write a little bit of. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just helped come up with the gags and stuff. I remember I drew a lot of like art, sort of like fan art for it, just to sort of, because Ross was like a really good friend and stuff. That was where Ross gained the reputation of like using the best takes. Ross is really good at like picking takes. So like, you know, a voice actor will come to him and they'll do like 4 or 5 different reads of something, of a line, and then Ross will pick like, I feel like a lot of people in those Newgrounds days would just pick like the most obvious take, but Ross picked like the best take for the moment and like the funniest takes. And it was always really cool. And it ended up feeling like really unique. And Gamer Tonight was one of those. And I did like a ton of, I did Richard Farkas, which nowadays is like, I don't even know. It's funny because I think the voice started as like, hello, welcome to Gamer Tonight, I'm Richard Farkas. And then by the end it was like, hello, welcome, I'm Richard Farkas. So there's an evolution of voice for you. But I think I did like almost every other guest on that show too, which I don't think were my best roles. But I loved doing Gamer Tonight, man. I was always so excited for the next one, and I was always like, Ross, show me what you got. Show me the thing. This is awesome. Yeah, so that was Gamer Tonight. I'm trying to think if there's anything super like behind the scenesy about it. No, not really. It just was a fun thing to work on. Music. In 2013, Hansen provided the vocals for the track Knight in Shining Armor by Dougal and Gammer, released as part of the compilation Clubland Extreme Hardcore 9. Yes, DJ Gammer has been a fan for a long time. Love that dude. So positive. I think I've done a couple things for him. It's usually just me going like yelling something. But he's a happy hardcore artist. He's really good. I think his music's been featured in a couple movies. But that dude rips. And thank you, Gammer, for making me feel good about wanting my voice. In 2013, Hansen, along with GameGrumps co-host and Ninja Sex Party song co-writer Lee Daniel Avidan and instrumentalist Brian Redding, formed the band Starbomb. We formed it way before he was a co-host on GameGrumps. We were working on Starbomb for a long time. And I was working on that cartoon for a long time, because I animated the first music video that we released, Luigi's Ballad. You know, it was colored and in between by Studio Yada, but I did the rough animation and everything. I animated it basically, and I came up with the color keys, and that took a long fucking time. I mean, that was like a long time in the making. They released their first album named Starbomb in December 2013. Yep, that's true. Unbelievable hit. We had no idea how massive of a hit it would be. It was like #1 on the comedy charts. We were just blown away by the response to it, and it was really, really. I think it was a huge boost for Dan and Brian because Ninja Sex Party done pretty well, but Starbomb did like amazing, and I think they were like, oh man, we can do this well. Let's push that for NSP, which is super cool that I was able to participate in and help with. Starbomb went out and released their second album 1 year later, December 2014, titled Player Select. That was a fucking nightmare. Because we were just like, we gotta get another album out. We gotta get one out. The year later, it's gonna be crazy. You know, we produced an album in like 6 months or something. I remember GameGrumps was filming at the time, and Dan was, you know, he was doing GameGrumps, and at night he was writing Starbomb songs. And the way it worked back then was like I would come up with the concepts, and then Dan would write the song, the lyrics, and then I would like throw in a line every so often, but it was mostly Dan. But this third album that we're working on right now, we all did a retreat for a week and a half, and just wrote the whole album. And so there's a lot of me on that album, which is super exciting for me, because I feel like my footprint on the first two albums wasn't super huge. It was sort of like, you know, Ninja Sex Party does video game songs featuring Egoraptor, you know? Whereas the third Starbomb album really feels like we all wrote it together, which is super cool and exciting. And I hope people like it, and it's not like the worst album and people are like, oh, it was because Egoraptor had it. I mean, I feel that way about even when we were releasing the second Starbomb album, I was like, oh, I hope this one does well. Even though like our track record was that it did do well. But anyway, it did do well. The second album didn't do as good as the first album, actually. But I, you know, if I'm being honest, I think it's just because it was, I don't want to say rushed, but like we definitely didn't have enough time to make it as good as we wanted it to be. And also like, the reason that Starbomb 3 took so long was because it sort of felt like we were running out of ideas. And it took, you know, what is it, 3 years for us to be like, oh, I think we have enough ideas now to do a third album. And then by the end of writing this album, we were like, we're out of ideas. Like, this is it. But I'm sure like a couple years from now, we'll be like, oh, I got some ideas for another Starbomb. But anyway, on April 15th, 2014, Fat Refund, a rap song, was released on the channel Stamper TV, a collaboration between several animators and voice actors, including Rice Pirate, Mark M., Stamper, and Hanson himself. Yes, that was super fun. It was the first time I really got to like write like sort of like flow lyrics, like I was just rapping, which was awesome. It's a little behind the times right now. I won't go into why, but if you listen to it, you'll understand why. And I would never do that now. What I'm talking about. I mean, I said words that aren't okay, and I wouldn't say them now. let's just say that. So yay. But I am proud of the lyrics that I did. It was a nice flow, and it was sort of a good practice for works that I would do in the future, like this new Starbomb album. In early 2016, Hanson performed with Starbomb at their first live event at South by Southwest. That is true. That's the first time Starbomb was live, and that was amazing. And I think we put on a really good show. And I remember very specifically, you know, there was a bunch of segments that were going on during that show, sort of a variety show and also an award show, for gaming personalities and stuff. And Smosh Games were behind the in the green room with us, and they were like, yeah, you know, you guys are cool, and we're like, yeah, you guys are cool too. But so we went on and we performed, and then we came back, and they were like, holy shit, you got that, like, that's real talent up there. Like, I don't know what we're doing, that's real talent. And I was like, oh man, that's so fucking sweet. You guys are so nice. You know, and I love all the Smosh Games people. I think, you you know, and the first time we interacted with them, we did that like Mega Man X thing. That was like right when they were starting. So that was really sweet that it sort of came to that moment, I guess. I don't know, it was just a nice moment. It was a nice wholesome moment. I love all those guys. They're great. Other work. In 2013, Hanson made an appearance on the web series Hot Pepper Gaming. Yeah, several. He reviewed Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate after eating a habanero pepper. That was insanity. It hurt. It hurt a lot. The shits were insane. That was funny because we recorded a bunch of... That was in Ross's house. We filmed that in Ross's house. There were a bunch of people that were being filmed that day. It was sort of impromptu. And I was surrounded by like 8 people. It was like Dan was there, Brian was there, you know, Ross, Holly, obviously, Susie was there, a couple other people. But everyone was just kind of like, it was just funny like being on camera and doing it, and everyone was just, you could just see them like biting their lips and like trying to like not say anything and like ruin the shot, because it was just, I just had a very extreme reaction to the habanero pepper. And it's interesting. That was, well, in 2014, Hanson returned to the show and did Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes whilst eating a boot jalopy, ghost pepper. Doing the ghost pepper one made me realize that there are different kinds of spice, because the habanero pepper felt like acid in my mouth, and the ghost pepper felt like nails going all the way down my throat. So, and the ghost pepper one, and you can watch it too, the Ground Zeroes review, I literally couldn't breathe or speak for the first, like, 30 seconds. So I'm like, it's a good game. Like, it was, I was like getting scared. And then eventually I could breathe, but like, oh, holy shit, that was insane. And after doing the ghost pepper, I think it actually fucked me up. I'm not able to handle spice the same way. I think I physically damaged my intestines. Please don't eat ghost peppers, guys. I have some sort of, and you know, it might just be genetics, because like stuff like diverticulitis runs in my family. So, you know, maybe I just have shitty intestines. No pun intended. So, you know, I don't know, but definitely like right after the ghost, because I literally like didn't come into work the next day after the ghost pepper, because I was like, I am in too much pain and I need to be near a bathroom 24/7. The Ring of Fire was fierce. Anyway, that's why in the third Hot Pepper Gaming video I did the Szechuans, because I was like, okay, that won't fuck me up. You just chew it and spit it out, and then you get all tingly, and ooh, it's crazy. Anyway, Hanson will voice his own playable character in Hex Heroes. Yeah, I don't know. Is that happening? Let me... previously co-created the bridge. Upcoming. I don't know what's going on with that. 2016. Best in Play. Huh. Yeah, I don't... Is that out? I don't know if that's out. Well, anyway, yeah, they asked us to do the voice, and they put us in the game, and it's great. It's cool. It seems like a cool game. I don't know if it's going to get produced or not. Hanson starred alongside Avanan in Good Game, a YouTube Red original series. Love Good Game. Loved doing that show. And it's funny because, look at this. Good Game. Good Game. I was GG, GameGrumps. So, I've been in a lot of things that are GG, and I've been in 2 different Good Games. So there's a little story about me. The show was its working title was Esports People, and then it eventually was called Good Game. So that was sort of like, I think they had to like figure out if they could use that name because of the Australian television show. I don't know if they were like, oh, this might be a legal problem. But that, I mean, I've spoken a lot about the production of that show and what it was like. And that was incredible. I would absolutely do a show like that again in a heartbeat. Fucking loved it. Learned a lot about acting in it. We took acting lessons for like 6 months before we started. We took it very seriously because we didn't want to like, they were obviously hiring actors for the show because we weren't the only two characters. And I didn't want it to be like, oh, these two are the YouTubers. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want it to be obvious that we weren't very good actors. And I feel like we did okay. You know, I certainly wasn't like the best actor in that role, but I did my best. I did the best that I could. And I think we did a good job. And we made a good show, and it was very well written. Sarah Carbiner and Erica Rosby wrote it. The Rick and Morty writers. Super talented, funny, and they took it very seriously. You know, Michelle Morrow and Jesse Cox, the show creators, they're very, they're gamers. I'm sure you know who they are, right? They were very serious about it being authentic, and so were Sarah and Erica. They were very serious about it coming off as authentic, not coming off as like pandering, as like, you know, mainstream appealing, trying to get the gross like claws in your back, like we're gamers, guys. And they really did their research, and it was fun being on set because, you know, people, you know, we would be in scenes where we'd have to be playing, and then it would be like, oh, you need to use these keys, you know, and then, you know, you would use these keys more often and stuff like that. That was mostly me and Michelle giving that input. And it was so funny because I remember this one moment where like it can be kind of like, you know, you don't want to like overstep your boundaries on sets, especially because of unions and stuff. But like, I remember there was this really funny moment where we had, it was the gamer house, and we had all the pro gamers and all the people that were working under Steeman in that episode. They were all real pro gamers. And I just remember like, you know, we wanted to be authentic, and like when they were playing, it wanted to seem like they were actually playing Killcore, the game from the show. And so I was like, do they know what keys to press and like how to pretend like they're playing? To the director, and the director Danny was like, they're pro gamers, like I don't want to like get into their steez, you know, like they know what they're doing. And I was like, no, it's fine. And I just walked up to him, and I think I sort of was like I feel like Danny was like, oh my god, this is gonna fuck things up. And then I walked up to the pro gamers, and I was like, hey, do you guys know like what you're doing? And they were like, oh, not really, like, you know, in terms of keyboard presses. And they were like, no, not really. And I was like, just pretend like you're playing League. And they were like, oh, okay, got it. And then it was like, okay, cool. Like it's, so you know, they just pretended like they pressed the buttons that like League players would play, League of Legends. So that was cool. And then there was a lot of that. There was a lot of like, you know, what should I be pressing? Like, oh, press these keys because you would be pressing these because, you know, this has a lesser cooldown and stuff. So that was a fun little tidbit. Super not important, but it was just nice to have like, you know, some accuracy and stuff. Hanson lives in Glendale, California with his wife, Susie Burhow. Yes, that's her name. The two met at a convention, started dating in 2002. Is that correct? I guess so. God, that was a long time ago. Well, let me think. 2002. Yeah. But how old was I? 15? Yeah, I think it was either 2002 or 2003. I don't know where that was cited from. Probably from Susie's podcast she did on me. Hanson proposed to her on 2011, and they married in 2013. Yep. She has her own gaming channel we got married at the Natural History Museum in LA, in front of the dinosaurs. And hey, hot tip for those getting married, and they're like, holy shit, venues are expensive. If you get married in a museum, it is, you don't have to pay. All you have to do is donate to the museum, and then they let you use the facility for free. So the donation is a write-off. Isn't that cool? So it was like the cheapest wedding in the world, and it was fucking beautiful because we had the whole museum to ourselves. Yeah, you could, as a guest of our wedding, you could go through the entire museum. It was fucking awesome. So after the ceremony, you know, it was like, we didn't have a wedding planner, so it was me doing everything. So after the ceremony, it was like, all right, everyone, enjoy the fucking museum. I'm going to go set up the reception. And then I had to run in there and set up tables and all that shit. And it was great because, you know, I was stressed out obviously, but it was great because everyone was just fucking going through the museum, and then finally they came in for dinner and it was amazing. So yes, museums, don't rule those out because they're beautiful and it provides entertainment on its own and it's cheap and it's a write-off. So museums. It was very cheap. Okay, she also has her own gaming channel under the pseudonym Mortimer. That's true. Well, yeah, Kitty Cat Gaming. Titled Kitty Cat Gaming, yeah. In which Hanson is often featured, yes. Yes, that is true. And that looks like it's it, man. Wow. So this is a pretty accurate Wikipedia article, I gotta say. A pretty good representation of what I've done. I feel like a lot of stuff is left out, and I have such a bad memory that, like, I can't even remember. I can't even tell you what's left out, honestly. But it's cool. I mean, whoever wrote this, or I guess many people wrote it, but whoever did this, good on you. You know, pretty well researched, I gotta say. Hey, if there are any questions about stuff, Mr. Wikipedia Man, if you, I guess what I'm saying is, I'm the source of information for this Wikipedia article. If anybody has any questions, wants to like amend it, or has like heard something and wants to amend the Wikipedia article with it, just ask me. Just you know, I'd post a comment in this video, I guess. And I will, I don't know, tweet or something, or fucking make a little video or something explaining. And then you can just be like, cited from when he actually said the fucking thing, like straight out of his mouth. Anyway, I'm probably gonna watch this thing about Kyle from Magiswords, who apparently talked about me being maybe a character designer in the show. That's nuts. But anyway, thanks for watching. Have a lovely day, everybody. I love you all. Thanks for understanding about Dan not being here. I hope you are enjoying the solo content. I'm doing my best to make it interesting. I love you. Goodbye. Mwah.